Rock with Mo. Today, I have a special guest today by the name of Tina, co-working with me. Just found out that she was taught by my sister. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But she was taught by my sister on what, taking blood and stuff?
Yeah.
Taking blood, huh?
Taking blood and learning how to talk to people.
She taught you how to talk to people? Professionally?
Yep. She's a whole nother different Miss K outside of the classroom, but inside the classroom, very professional.
She taught you how to talk to people?
Yep, talk to people.
Ain't that something?
Draw blood.
Did you draw blood on her?
Not on her. I drew blood on this one patient that nobody could get. Well, she was a classmate, but she was like a dialysis patient. So it went from there. But just the only person that really, not even the only person, but she believed in me. Worked 3 jobs while going to school.
You worked 3 jobs while you went to school?
Never late. Never missed a day.
What 3 jobs did you have going to school?
I was a waitress, but I worked at a nursing home and a group home.
You did all 3 jobs, never missed no day of school. How you have that? What gave you that focus? What gave you that drive to be able to have 3 jobs and go to school? 3 plus 1.
It goes back to that. You gotta have that motivation to want to be somebody, want to do better.
Mm-hmm.
When you in a position to where you only can depend on you, then it makes you hungry for it.
Right.
Because you can't go over JoJo house and just lay up and not pay up.
Well, I don't know. Some women can do that.
Some women can, but in my eyes, it's I did that one time and I never wanted to do it again, because you sit at somebody's house and you almost wonder, do they want me here?
Mm-hmm.
Are they helping me, or am I a burden?
Right.
And so I'd rather be a burden than working hard, doing 3 jobs in my own stuff. Ain't nobody tell me that I gotta go when I can go, how long I got to go.
Yeah.
So hey, I'd rather bust my butt. Knowing that I can sleep on my own couch if that's all I had the money to pay for.
Right. No, I know the feeling. Now, when I went back to school, I was going to school, working full-time job, going to school, making sure I was, on time for school all the time, and just grinding and grinding and grinding. I know the grind, and it's not easy, and it's not made, for everybody. Mm-hmm. You get a lot of people out there that get a taste of that grind, like, nah, give me the bridge card and my monthly check.
Yeah.
Let me get paid on the what's that, the 1st and the 15th? Yeah. Yes, some people like that, that lifestyle, and some people, like yourself and like myself and other people, gotta get on that grind. The only difference, I started later than what I should have started. Mm-hmm. But nevertheless, got to it.
I mean, it pays off in the end. You just have those people around you that motivate you to want to do better.
So who motivated you?
Myself, my mom, and definitely, my teachers. Mm-hmm. The ones that believed in me. And I will say, even after I graduated being a 4.0 student, I failed my first 2 exams trying to get in.
Oh, you did?
First 2 times.
What made you not give up?
Because it was like, I know I got this.
Mm-hmm.
I know this ain't me. And working 3 jobs, you take that test right after school.
Right.
You don't really have no time to be like, okay, let me sit down and prioritize my life and study.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, damn, I ain't really was studying. I'm book smart, but when it comes down to a whole test, there was things on there that I didn't even recognize. And it's like, that was more of a test that you got to be in the field to actually know this stuff.
Right.
And once I got to working in the field, it was rocket science.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, now I'm actually drawing the blood on a human body. Like, oh, they really taking the time out to say, okay, you can do this. Try this.
Did you ever doubt yourself?
No.
You never doubted yourself? Nothing never crept in your mind like, man, I don't know about this. I think I done bit off more than I can chew.
Nope. Because when I failed my test, it was people in the class that I was helping, and they passed theirs. Oh, man, you don't want to help us through. There was people that didn't even come to school that passed. So I was like, well, damn, how did you pass? But some people can be exam smart and not book smart.
Right.
Hey, so you all you gotta do is choose ABC. You pick the best choice. You don't
I
have to
guess.
be good at that.
I know. When I went, I had to have a teacher in front of me.
Yeah.
I had to come to class. I had to have a teacher in front. I had to ask questions.
Yeah.
I had to get an understanding. I had to have a whole lot. I just could not just come take an exam and then be like, all right, I'm going back home now.
Yeah.
I can't work like that.
Well, some people that they had a lot going on and was able to just let me study right before class and ace the exam. Maybe it was me that had to take the time and be like, no, I need a day or two to actually study and process what I'm doing. There's a lot of people, they cheat their way through school, but is cheating your way through school actually gonna work when it's time to actually do the job? Yeah, you cheated to pass the exam. Now we in real life, and you need to do this on this physical person, and you don't even know the steps because you just looked it over and had a piece of paper, write the answers down on a piece of paper, and now you go there. But when you actually physically go through the process of learning the body wholeheartedly by yourself, it pays off because now you're seeing a person's body, you can recognize that body part instantly.
Right. So when did you find out? I got this. This is gonna be easy. This is this is gonna be my future now. When did it finally come to you like, I got this. This is gonna be my future now?
Well, I always, from even a kid, my mom always told me I was a caring person. You know what I'm saying? So that's out the gate. It was like, just based off conversation, it's like I will put you first rather than myself. So it was more so like, and I actually signed up for school on my birthday.
Oh, you did?
So it was like, it's time for a change.
Right.
Like I'm working all these jobs. When I can get one job and actually whether it's doing overtime or whatever the case may be, and actually be stable into something that I like doing, it's like, okay, let me sign up for this. This is good. It's 9 months. It's not a long time, but hey, it's gonna take away from a lot.
Right.
So it's like, dang, I'm going to school, I'm working, but I got it because it's you can see the future.
Do you have children?
Nope.
Oh, so you had all the time in the world.
All the time in the world. I wasn't dating.
You wasn't dating either?
I was focused on my future at that moment because a lot of times you get distracted. And everybody ain't gonna believe in you the way you believe in you. Right. Everybody ain't gonna understand why you need that study time instead of us time. And it's like, if I put that off for a little while and get where I need to be, I can make more time for myself. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So when you had what you said, you had like 3 jobs?
3 jobs.
So out of them 3 jobs, how much was you making a year?
I would say within the 3 jobs at that time, the pay rate was a little low. And I would say at least 50.
50 with 3 jobs?
I'd say at least 50.
And now that you got 1 job, I imagine with the way that you work, that 1 job is doing that of the 3 jobs.
Yeah, because for a minute, even after graduating school, I was still doing 2 jobs. But I would do 2 different kind of jobs.
Right.
Because I say, if this don't work out for me, at least I have my hands in every different part, so my resume can grow.
Right.
And not just staying stagnant into just healthcare. So I was Amazon or FedEx or, maybe healthcare wasn't gonna work out. So I had to make sure that I can cover my butt in something else that I like.
So when did you finally realize, like, you know what, I can get rid of this second job because this is where I'm gonna be at, healthcare? When did you finally realize that?
I would say recently, though.
Okay.
So it still was at a point where all these years I was working, because at the point I don't have no kids. So, hey, what else do I have to do with my time besides go make money and actually build something that I like doing? But recently it was just like, hey, that same amount of time that I'm spending working all these doubles and 7 days a week, I can double it and just be here, do overtime, and still make that same amount of money.
And when you're doing this overtime, making sense, does it feel like does it wear on you, or you just be like, I'm here?
Well, I'm kind of used to it because it's like, dang, I was doing 7 days, 12 hours.
Right.
Why not just be here, something that I'm comfortable with, and maybe it doesn't take a lot. Some days are worse than others, but those chill days you appreciate.
Right,
I
right.
picked up anyway. It's an 8-hour shift. I can do.
It just be a gamble sometimes.
I do.
Like shit, is it gonna be one of them days? Oh, don't let it be one of them days. But even when it is one of those days, because like I said, we work in the same hospital. We do two different we do two different jobs. But when them days come and it's just like this all day long, like damn, this ain't gonna stop. It's just not stopping.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you look up. 8, 9, 10 hours done went by. You like, oh, okay, all right. And then sometimes it just be calm. It be cool those last few hours sometimes, or sometimes it just keep jumping. But have you ever get to a point where you just got tired of it?
Yeah, I was at the point the other day, just working the same spot for 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Normally they had you rotate every 4.
Right.
But that day was short. So it's like you gonna be in the same spot for 12 hours and you get tired because at the end of the day you realize that you're still human when it comes to patients. And it's like, hey, I still want to be talked to in this manner too, but then you got to bite your tongue because it's still my employment.
Right.
So if I say the wrong thing, hey, that's my butt.
Yeah.
And it's like, now you irritate me because just 2 minutes ago I told you this. Now you're asking me the same question. And so, but you have to look at it from the patient point of view too. Like you come in the ER to be seen and you're hurting, and I get your situation, but unfortunately, there's going to be a way for everybody.
Yeah. Now, how do you being in the hospital in the ER, and everybody there isn't there because they want to be there. Everybody that's there is there because they're in pain. Now, how do you differentiate from you really need help and you over here you just trying to milk the system? Can you tell the difference between the two?
Yeah, most definitely.
How can you tell the difference between the two? I know how I can tell the difference between the two.
Well, most of the time, in our ER per se, you get the same kind of people that come in.
Mm-hmm.
But it may be a situation that day that same person come in all the time, they may actually need care.
Right.
So now you're at the point where I know yesterday you came because you just wanted a place to stay. But today you look like you in pain, like something really wrong. So now you got to take it a lot more critical.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, differentiate and say to yourself, hey, well, yesterday, how was he looking? How was he feeling? He looked a little different. He looked a little off today.
Right.
And it can be, now it's getting hot. It could be from the heat. When it's like, okay, well, you look drained. Or it could be, hey, actually, this person is really having chest pain and it's actually more serious.
Mm-hmm.
So now I still got to go through the process of doing that EKG, working it up because it's like, dang if you do, dang if you don't. But
right.
I'd rather cover my butt and say, hey, I did that. We took care of that, but it ain't nothing.
Right. Because it could be, it can be stressful. Some days being in a hospital, it can be highly stressful. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it can also be extremely rewarding too.
Yeah, most definitely.
And I mean, and it's like a roller coaster ride. You up, then you down, then you level, then you come back up again, and sometimes you just keep going up. Then when you hit that drop, you're
tired.
Yeah.
You shaking out.
And it can be, working like I said in the hospital, it can be real stressful. And how does that work with your dating life? Or are you dating or are you not dating?
As of right now, no, I'm not dating. Before it can, because you can take your work problems home,
mm-hmm.
and unconsciously not knowing that your attitude is affecting everybody else's mood. So you got to learn how to separate the two. Hey, my mood ain't because of you. I had a stressful day. Maybe I need a minute
mm-hmm.
to kind of gather myself. Whether I'm showering, staying in the shower for a minute, just gathering my thoughts. But a lot of people, even myself, sometimes I find myself putting everybody else's problems into my problem. Maybe
outside of work or at work? Just
in general.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of times you go and say if somebody have an attitude, and that attitude may have nothing to do with you, but you make yourself the problem.
Mm-hmm.
People are allowed to feel how they're gonna feel without you being the issue.
Now, do you ever realize is that when people do have an issue that they're in the hospital And um, when they're so frustrated, so angry, so mad that they take it out on you, do you realize sometimes it's not you? You're just the closest person to them at that moment.
Absolutely.
And how do you deal with that?
I mean, we had a stressful situation today, even myself, and it's like, you know, you see me doing something, give me a moment. After that moment is up, then you can, talk to me about whatever you need. But you still have to realize that at the end of the day, outside of this job and even inside this job, I'm still human. Mm-hmm. So you got to talk to me like I'm human. You don't know what kind of day I'm having to make me want to, go off on you, but then I still have to have some self control because this is my employment.
Yeah.
So no matter how you talk to me, I still got to learn how I control how I talk to you. Even if I want to say something out the way that want to just lash out, I gotta take a step back and say, hey, if I say X, Y, and Z, that's on me.
Right.
I had time to control it. So even today, it was like the man was so angry, and it's like I get you're in pain, you need to throw up, but you see me sit right here, just ask me for a throw up bucket.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did that go? And how did that work into your relationship? As far as, did you ever take your anger out on your spouse? Did you, or how did you work through that sometime?
Well, me per se, like a lot of people say, like I've told you before, my outlook on things may not be people's outlook on things. Mm-hmm. And I have respect for a person. So if I'm feeling some type of way, I'm allowed to feel that way, but at the end of the day, I'm going to respect you as a human. So I'm not going to say things that I know may hurt you in the long run because that's just the type of person I am. Mm-hmm. So I learned to, and it took me time, and I'm still learning that as a grown adult, 32 years old, how to talk to people.
Right.
Because it's a certain way you got to talk to people to get what you want. Mm-hmm. So now I'm still learning that, but now that I've learned that, I know how to take a step back before I say things that are going to be angry that will make the situation harder than what it got to be.
Now, when you were in this relationship, the last relationship you was in, or any other relationship that you were in, do they understand what it is that you go through at work on a 12-hour shift? Because your regular shift is always going to be 12 hours.
Absolutely.
And do they really get an understanding of what it is, or have they ever got an understanding of what it is to be with you in the field that you're in, to get like a real good understanding?
I would say this last relationship, no. Only because the type of person it is. You have to be with a type of person that understands just in general what it takes to be human.
Right.
So when you realize what it takes to be human, we're all going to have our days where we're not perfect. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is like, I can be having a bad day or I'm going to cuss you out. But when I wake up that next morning as a grown adult, I can sense to myself, what I said to you last night, that wasn't fair. I apologize. A lot of people, they can't do that. It might take them a few days.
Right.
But in my instance, if I know that I've said something to you out the way that may be offensive to you, but it may not even been your fault. Maybe, like you said, I probably got off work, had a bad day, and it's just at that moment you said something that I didn't want to hear, and I'm lashing out on you.
You ever caught yourself doing that?
No, because it's not too many days that I have a bad day.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I built myself up to that because I like what I do. So no matter the situation that happens at work, I've always tried to turn it into something positive.
Right, because I find myself sometimes, what I have to do, for myself, regardless of what it is that I'm doing, if it's at the hospital or other previous jobs that I've had, because I've always for the most part dealt with the public. One, I have to check myself at that front door before I come in.
Absolutely.
I got to check myself once I'm in there. I got to understand and realize that everybody I'm dealing with is dealing with some type of pain. A visitor coming in dealing with a death, a visitor coming in dealing with a real bad situation, a patient coming in, everything, visitors, co-workers, other employers. I have to check my ego at that door, and then when I come home, I also got to check that ego at the door because I can't. I mean, not to say that I never have done it, but I had to try to check that ego at the door. I got to check that problem. Whatever I had at work, I can't bring it home. So I have to have different coping skills. Do you have any coping skills?
Absolutely. I'm a very patient person. Sometimes I think I'm too patient. So a lot of times, even when I want to act up, I've learned that it doesn't get me anywhere. So if I'm talking to you crazy and I know you this type of individual, if I go to do this, I don't know what your outcome gonna be.
Right.
So me personally, I've learned just in my past that these situations, one bad situation can mess you up forever.
Yeah, it probably could, and then sometimes also at the same time, that one situation is only temporary, ain't gonna last forever either.
But is it really worth it?
That's the question.
So I think about when I'm in that moment, if I make this mistake, what is it gonna cost me in the long run, not just in that moment?
Right.
So if I know that I go to the casino and I know my rent due, and I say, "Ooh, I got this $1,000," it's not guaranteed that I'm gonna win $1,000, and it's not gonna guarantee that I'm gonna lose it.
That's why I call it a gamble.
It's it. So in that moment, I need to decide how else am I gonna get this $1,000 if I lose it.
Right.
That's just like a relationship. If I'm arguing with you, I gotta decide if this argument is really worth it, and if the person I'm dealing with has that type of communication skills to work through it. Right. So a lot of people check out. Hey, that ain't gonna work.
So you say you 32. Yeah. How you get through your 20s, maybe even your late teenage years, and not have a baby by 32?
Oh man, where do I start?
Because it's not common. You got a lot of young women out here that's started having babies at 15, 16, got 5 or 6 kids by the age of 26. How did you dodge that bullet?
Me personally, I'm at a point in my life where even in teens, I've always wanted to have my stuff together before I bring a baby in this world. And when I say that I will always have every single dollar that baby needs, no, because we'll be lying. There's no rule book to how to be a parent. You just go through it. But I look at it as there should be a 2-parent household.
Yeah,
does it necessarily always work like that? No, I mean, it don't. But the way I look at it is, if I want to raise a baby on my own, I'll just go get a sperm donor and knowing subconsciously that this is going to be my full responsibility. But when you lay down, hey, it took 2 of us. Now this is both of our responsibilities. And so just in the generation that we're in, people normalize baby daddy and baby mamas.
Yeah, it's right
normal now. So it's just like, and when you look at normal, it's not really normal because, hey, drop the baby off at 10, or let's meet up at KFC, and we swap. But what happened to the respect? Like, at what point were y'all friends? At what point was this just a one-night stand? Did you really get to know this individual to say, hey, he's not fit to be a good father? And we don't ask the right questions.
Right.
What's your relationship with your mama, your sister, your grandma, the women that's in your life? Like, how do you treat these people?
And vice versa.
And vice versa.
Do you have a father in your life?
Exactly.
Do you have daddy issues? Things of that nature, just as well. And I think that, like you just said, when it comes to coming to the table to attempt to build something with somebody, is that person worth it? Have you ever been involved with somebody where you went to the table, didn't ask the right questions, or you did ask the right questions, and then you asked yourself, was it worth it, or was it not worth it, and you still went through with it anyway, or you didn't go through with it?
But just the type of people that I've ran into, it's not worth it. And especially once you leave the relationship and you still see the type of people they deal with after, you say, you might not see it right then and there, but you say, I dodged that bullet.
Mm-hmm.
You ever had that thought to say, whew, I was the one that got away?
Yeah, yeah.
Because of the trauma, the turmoil that you would have went through, especially when you see them actually have a kid and it ain't work. So you ask yourself, you say, hey, that would have been me
Right.
on that other side, wondering if I can correctly co-parent with you, because I've always say it's a respect thing when it comes to anything in life. It's a respect.
So when you so when it comes to being in a relationship and y'all coming together, you got your table, that individual has this table. Because in this day in life, I never asked you about the sexuality, but in this day in life, it could be two men or two women,
Absolutely.
a man, a woman.
Absolutely.
Have you ever ignored them signs, or what is it that you want somebody to bring to the table, and what do you have to offer? What table do you have to bring in, and what have they had on their table to bring?
I think I ignored every sign that God could have gave me. And that's just being truthful to the fact that everybody that I've dated was never worth it. And it's not taking away their credibility that they don't have the potential to be worth it. Because a lot of people, like you said, that trauma will hold you back from a lot. It's a generational curse, yeah. Well, my mama was on welfare and she liked it. Now I'm at a situation where, hey, I'm comfortable with getting this bridge card and it's $500 or $700 and I don't actually have to go out and work for it.
Right.
And the way that I grind in my lifestyle, I've never dated nobody that grind like me. So in my mind, it's like, hey, I'm getting up 12, 16 hours, get off of 16 hours and I can go DoorDash while you still in the same spot.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you have? What kind of motivation are you having? Or if me not motivating you to do it after I'm doing all this is not good enough, then we're not really compatible.
So do you think a part of those things that happen when you missed all the signs, do you think, because like you said earlier, you like to help people more than you like to help yourself?
And that's my downfall. The things that God love about me, I hate about myself. And I say that is because it's a good thing to be the way that I am, but you gotta find the right people that allow you to be the way that you are. If I'm a caring person, I need to be connected to somebody that's just as caring. If I connect myself with an individual that's used to toxic, that's always been around toxic, that's seen toxic their whole life, whether it's through dad, mama, guess what they're gonna be? Toxic.
Right.
So now I'm connecting myself that work hard, got my own house, got my own car, got my own job with somebody that don't have nothing. What do you think my life gonna be like? Now it's gonna be days where I'm gonna say, I just want to chill, so I'm gonna call off today because I want to chill with such and such. Not such and such at work. I might as well take myself to work. Right.
No, yeah, no. You know what that is? That's. I mean that is valid. You know what I'm saying? That is valid to where it goes both ways. If you connected with somebody that has, I guess, that grind that you say you have, that have that motivation to where it's, you know what, I'm gonna go to work too. I'm gonna try to match. I'm gonna match they grind. They gonna match my grind. I don't mind calling off for this person. This person don't mind calling off because we've been going hard for so long. We need that time together versus having somebody, you get up every day, you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you work 12-hour shifts, you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, that person in the bed when you go to work. You get off at 6 o'clock in the evening, that person laying around the house still. You go to bed around 9, 10 o'clock or whatever, that person going to bed around 9 or 10 o'clock right along with you, and the whole cycle keeps going around and around and around before you like, what the hell do you have?
Yeah.
I'm the one doing all this, not that I don't mind, but I do mind, and, it can be you know, energy draining. It can just suck all the energy out of you because you find yourself paying for everything. You find yourself doing everything. You know what I'm saying? And that person isn't necessarily trying to put forth an effort. If you're trying to put forth an effort, that's great.
I'm down for it.
Yeah. But if you ain't trying to put forth an effort, what are we doing here?
I had somebody tell me I'm not as motivated as you. And you don't have to be as motivated as me, and you don't have to be doing the exact same thing as me, but it goes back to you can try. If you want it, you're going to go get it. But
Yeah.
a lot of people get comfortable and say, hey, well, this person is paying for X, Y, and Z. Why do I have to?
Mm-hmm.
They ain't complaining to the point where they leaving me alone to make me have to. And my mama always tell me, what was that person doing before they met you? And that's a valid point, because it's like, you're going to go back to the same thing you was doing after we no longer talk.
Yeah.
So now I've come into a situation to where I'm giving you everything. You're comfortable. Why should you feel like you need to do nothing?
So what do you do when you finally, you know, that day that comes when you find that person that has matched your energy? How would you deal with something like that? Have you ever dealt with something like that is the first question.
I would say, like I was saying earlier, I'm actually going through that situation, and now I'm in a season in my life where God has shifted things for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was the one that was doing it all. Now he shifted me into meeting people that can help me do it. So now it's the question of, what's this person's true intentions? Because I've been brainwashed to believe that I'm the sole provider here. All I've met people that didn't have nothing that I had to do for. And not that they asked for it, it's just that's the type of person I am.
Mm-hmm.
If I see that it's something that you want and I know you don't got the money for it, I'm going to go buy it. But I realized that doing that, it enables somebody to use you more.
Right.
Because they know you're going to do it.
Right.
So if you say, all I got to do is call you and tell you the baby need diapers, and that's what you're going to do is go buy the diapers without me asking you.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, people get mad when you throw the stuff in their face about what you do for them, but you caught me with your problems knowing the type of individual I am.
Right.
So it's like, you called for me to do something.
So when you say throw something in their face, exactly what do you mean by, remember I went and got the Pampers when you wanted to get Pampers, or how does that
it's
go?
more so of being appreciated. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm doing something for you, like you said, if I'm at work 16 hours and I come home and you never at home, I mean, you just at home laying up. When I come home, you up, you laying up, not doing nothing. It's just like, dang, so I'm doing all this hard labor to buy X, Y, and Z, and yet you're mistreating me in the way you talk to me or the way that you respond to my feelings
Mm-hmm.
are now invalid. So it's like, dang, it's not even though, oh, I'm going to just pick a time and say, nope. Remember when I bought you them J's?
Mm-hmm.
It was more so like, dang, well, when am I actually going to feel appreciated for what I do?
Right. No, I feel you on that. You know, that's one thing I don't never try to do, is because I feel if I do something for you, it's because I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that don't mean I'm not human,
Mm-hmm.
that I don't realize, man, what do you be doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what have you done lately?
Yeah.
You know, because we're still human. We still have feelings. And if we're going to build something, that means that we're going to build this together.
Absolutely.
That means that whatever your strength is, whatever my weakness is, they should balance out each other somehow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I'm horrible at paying bills, but you're good at, I make money, but I'm horrible at paying bills, but you're great at paying bills. All right, well, shit, here go the money.
Mm-hmm. You just pay for it.
Pay the bill. I got the money with you, but you better at this. Before I know it, I'm gonna be having, you gonna call me, my phone gonna be up. Not because I didn't have the money to do it. I just didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And all right, well, here go the money for everything that needs to be taken care of. Take care of that. Let's just say, for example, your weakness may be, let's just, Shoot, your weakness may be time management, but I'm always Johnny on the spot. You know we got to take care of this on this day. You know we got to be here at this time. You know, and you may always be on CP time, but I'm always that's my strength, and we complement each other that way.
But first, when I say in this generation, you have to be dealing with a person that's mentally able to comprehend that.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes back to locking and tying yourself into people that's ready to grow in that type of level. A lot of people, you can challenge them to grow, but they're not really ready to take the steps.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? They're going to go back to where they're familiar.
Right.
So I can challenge you to say, hey, your credit score is kind of low. We can do X, Y, and Z to get it up. But if you're not willing to get that credit score up, there's not much I can do.
Mm-hmm.
I had a person tell me, you so level-minded that I thought you would help me out. But if it comes to a time where I know that this is something that you used to do, and I'm telling you, hey, remember when you did that and it landed you here? Maybe we should try a different approach.
Right.
And you still want to go the old approach, you can't be mad at me for trying if that's not what you want to do.
But when do you throw your hands up and be like, you know what, I don't want to deal with this no more?
Well, that's just like enabling the kid. Hey, you've been living here for so long. Yeah, you always going to be able to come home, but at some point it gets to the point where when you're going to try.
Mm-hmm.
So now, even though this is my kid, it's still, hey, you ain't going to be able to do this forever. I can't hold you down forever. So at one point, I got to say, I'm done with it.
Right.
I'm giving you X. It's sad to say, but I'm giving you X amount of time to get your stuff together. And if you don't, this is a consequence. And a lot of times we don't have consequences for what we put out. So if I say, hey, you talk to me disrespectful the first time, I'm going to let that slide because maybe you didn't know that was my boundary.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm letting you know, I'm giving you that space and opportunity to change. The second time, there has to be a consequence. Because if I don't have a consequence for your actions of how I told you that this is my boundary and what I don't like, and you keep doing it, now that consequence is left up to me to stand on business and say, hey, I have enough self-respect for myself to say, hey, it's time to walk away. Because I told you.
Right.
And I ain't like it. And you still did it again.
And then you throw your hands. But when do you throw your hands up and then just walk away, though?
I struggle with that. I struggle with walking away.
I think a lot of people generally struggle with walking away. But at the same time, I believe that when people are in a committed relationship, if they're married or whatever, you understand that you're going to have these days. But the question is this person worth it? Mm-hmm. The question is, can I see myself without this person? The question B is, the other question may be, how do I feel when this person isn't around? Mm-hmm. Is that person's faults worth it? You know what I'm saying? And sometimes if you can sit there and honestly say yes, then we just gonna work through this. Mm-hmm. But if for some odd reason, every time I look at you, man, shit, mm-hmm. You still breathing?
Mm-hmm. No, for real.
You still, fuck that, man. Because I could be mad at you in a relationship and I can't stand you today, but at the same time, I can't live without you. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's where that's where the when do you throw your hands come up to be. If you can recognize any of those things, then that lets you know, man, this just ain't working, man. I'm about to go my separate way because I don't really feel like that about you. Or I'm not throwing the towel in, man, because it just isn't worth it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because I can tolerate this, I can deal with that, or I can't deal with that.
Well, I tolerate things that I don't have to tolerate, and the question is that I have to ask myself is when it comes to these red flags and a person telling you who they are, mm-hmm. You should believe it because it'll come out later and then the person say, "Well, I told you so. I told you I had a smart mouth. I told you once I got angry, I was X, Y, and Z." And at that moment, I need to analyze myself and say, is it something that I can really deal with?
Right.
And a lot of times, I analyze the moment, but I still see potential.
Mm-hmm.
And so now the question that I'm asking myself is, I know something wrong with them, but what's wrong with me that keeps allowing it?
Right.
And at one point, do I say to myself that I'm worth more than what you're giving me? My value is worth more than what you're giving me. And no matter how much I say I can't live without you, is it worth still fighting for, knowing that you will never change?
Right. That's the question. I believe that's the question is, I know you're not going to change this part about you. Is it worth me being here with you, for these moments? Because because now if I know you're going to call me a bitch every time we get into an argument, you ain't nothing but a bitch. You bitch, 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 bitch.
Mm-hmm.
How many times can I take being called a bitch and be like, you know what? It's worth being called a bitch. Or you know what? I'm not gonna keep being called a bitch. I'm about to go somewhere else with somebody else. Hopefully hopefully somebody else into my life that won't call me a bitch. We may argue because that's part of relationships. Is having arguments, is having blow-ups. But in the middle of these arguments and blow-ups, are you still being respectful to me?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm real big on respect because I want to be treated in a certain type of manner. I want to be handled in a certain type of manner. And I don't like being called out my name.
Right.
I don't like being disrespected because I know in that argument, and that comes with growth, that comes with wanting to change, that comes with surrounding yourself by like-minded people that know that even in the midst of this argument, I still have enough respect for you to not call you out your name because you're still human. You still have feelings. And even though you may not sit there and cry right now, you're like, well, dang, what did I do to her or him that was cruel enough for them to call me out my name? So, like I tell people all the time, we can have a healthy debate without disrespecting each other.
Yeah.
I mean, we're allowed to have two different opinions.
Oh, yeah.
We're two different humans.
Right.
But it don't not validate my feelings because we're two different people. No, if I tell you you hurt me, you can't tell me you didn't.
Right.
Like, and if I hurt you, I can't tell you I didn't hurt you because I don't know how you feel.
Right.
So even if I don't call you a B, I might say something to you that may be out the way that you like, oh, well, why you say that to me? Now that hurt.
Yeah, everybody is different because some people may not mind being called a bitch.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, you go back to them people that
that
like being called.
Some people think some people feel like if you don't call me no bitch, you don't love me. No. Some people feel like if you call me a bitch, you don't really like me.
It was normal.
Yeah.
And we normalize that when you get in that toxicity to think that that's how it should be. Mm-hmm. So if you think that being called a B is how it should be, hey, you gonna stay there because that's all you know.
Yeah.
Or you gonna go get with another. That's just like domestic violence. At what point do you say that my self-worth is worth more, or I am beautiful, I am handsome, I am worthy of getting all the things that God said that I can get. I was put on this earth and chosen for a reason. So at what point do you say to yourself, hey, this isn't no longer working for me?
Mm-hmm.
And how can I find what is working for me if I don't exit the situation?
Right.
And in that moment, things hurt. They do. They're meant to hurt.
Yeah.
But in the long run, God, I'm a firm believer in God. God always got something greater.
Oh yeah.
And it may take time. It may take time. But if you stay in that damaged situation for so long, and you find that right person, you're gonna automatically think that person got ulterior motives, even if they don't, because you've been here for so long. And you're like, well, dang, I gotta call B's and hoes for so long. You actually courting me. You actually treat me right. I don't know if I like this.
Yeah, what's your motive? You ain't called me no bitch. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. You ain't called me. I ain't no bitch. I'm a lady.
Well, that's when the self-sabotage come in, because you don't even give it time to work itself out, because eventually people are going to show their true colors no matter how we put it, how we turn it, how we screw it, how we unscrew it, you gonna see like, oh, well, maybe this is who this person is.
Yeah.
There's no changing it.
You know, everybody like you said before, everybody's gonna show you who they really are. You know, but I think a lot of times what blinds people is lust. Like I just want to get you in bed. I just want to get you. I can bypass all this other stuff. I just want to be able just to. I want to turn you to a porn star. I want to be a porn star. I want to. You know what I'm saying? But then once the sex is out of it per se, I mean it's still there, but it's no longer the pursuit no more. You know, I don't know what's wrong with this person. I don't even like this person. It was always there. You just didn't see it because you were so focused on the outer beauty of somebody. You know, and you just bypassed everything that they ever did. You know, and I think, you know, a lot of times that's exactly what ends up, you know, happening a lot of times. You know, you don't, like you said earlier, you know, you got your table, I got my table. Now, how do we bring these two tables together? You know, what do you got on your table and what do I got on my table that we willing to bring together to coexist, you know, with each other?
And a lot of times, when you get in these relationships, you realize that you're more advanced than that person. And like you were saying earlier, I can give you some strengths and make you motivated and you not even know it. Just by being around you. And a lot of my friends, and I always tell people, I'm strong, but I still have my days where you don't know if I'm sitting at home crying.
Right.
You know, so don't get blinded by the outcome of where I'm at now and forget about what I had to go through getting it. It might have been a struggle.
Yeah.
Hard times where I probably only had $1 in the gas, but I knew I was getting paid that next morning.
Right.
You know, so I can post on social media that I'm happy, but deep down inside, when I get off social media, I can be crying.
Oh, yeah.
So don't get blinded by the fact that, oh, she's making all this money or she got these jobs and she got X, Y, and Z and she's able to do this, but I built this table. And that's when we come to realize when we settle or bring ourselves down to a standard where the table of this person is not where mine is at. Do I really have the strength enough to build you up to where I am? You know, it goes back to, is it really worth it? Do you have that mindset to want to grow and want to change?
Right.
Because if you come in and say, well, dang, this person got their own place, their own car, she working, she ain't outside talking about it's 95 degrees, you know, outside getting it in.
We outside with it.
We outside with it. She actually, about her business, I want to be a part of that.
Right.
And a lot of people, like, it goes back to, I work to be at this level. So if you gonna come in, I need you to be able to bring something to me. Like you said, what if I wasn't a good money manager? And you had that potential to say, hey, I got X, Y, and Z to help you. You got X, Y, and Z to help me. And now we have a firm table where nobody's losing.
Right.
We're both gaining. I'm taking from you. You take it from me. So now our cups are even.
Right, right.
But if I'm up here, you down here, but you don't want to grow, but I'm pouring into you, at the end of the relationship, of course, you going to leave me. Because the table is uneven. And it takes a special person, like my ex, this last relationship, and I date females, and now I'm trying to find out my sexuality again and go back into that. Maybe guys is for me. Maybe women is for me. So now I have to struggle and balance with myself.
Or maybe the right person is just for you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter.
The sexuality.
Yeah.
So now I have to come to terms to say, am I open to receive whatever God has for me, whether it's a male or a female? So the question not only is, am I struggling with my sexuality, is who's going to treat me enough to say, this is where I want to be. I'm firm enough to be here and let you lead me and fall back into that woman era.
So do you feel like you struggle with your sexuality?
No, because I've been at a point for so long where I'm dating women for 12 years now. But it comes to a point where I'm tired of being a leader.
so so with that, so with that, are you comfortable with not being the leader, regardless if it's with another female or if it's with a man? If a man takes the reins and be like, follow me, or if a woman comes to you and you're in a relationship, follow me. Would you struggle with follow me?
I used to, but the more and more my relationships fail, the more and more I analyze, I do it to myself. And it's the saying that you put yourself in that situation and nobody else do it for you. And so when you're strong enough to realize that maybe it's not them, maybe I am the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that is, all my friends always tell me you do too much too soon. You never give a person a chance to see, hey, will they buy you X, Y, and Z? Will they take you out? Will they come pick you up? As soon as the person say, hey, I need this, you're right there.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't open that door for a person to say, or give that person a chance to be who you need them to be, because you've already taken over that leading role.
Well, I think that you just need to be who you are. And some people some people try to analyze you but if that's who you are, that's just who you are, and you figure that out as you go, regardless if it's with a man or if it's with a woman. Regardless, if somebody say I need this, all right, here I am.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, you done burnt me too many times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna move away from you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, here I am, and you never know, that same person, that the next person may be like, no, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. And you build, and then you end up building off of that. I was never real big on friends telling me, friends or coworkers, whoever, telling me who I am and how I should be.
Mm-hmm. That's a big one.
Because I am who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what makes you you.
Mm-hmm.
This is what makes me me.
Absolutely.
You know, so let me do me. And if this person uses me to the cows come home,
Mm-hmm.
well, shit, I just got used till the cows came home.
But at least I know in the midst of that, I never stopped being me.
Right.
And so that's a good thing, because a lot of people say, now, maybe you need to change who you are. But if I'm a caring person, if I'm a loving person, why should I have to change who I am to benefit the next person? Or should I find people that are just like me that makes it whole?
Right.
Or well, in all honesty, yeah, maybe I do need to like back off and not do so much so fast.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing. Oh, don't do something so fast. Let's see if that person can come to you with the same gestures you're gonna come with them.
Right.
So hey, can I depend on you even if I don't need it? My sister told me one time, text all your friends and say, hey, I need $100 and see how they react. Because they know if they text you, they gonna get it.
Right.
But you do the same thing, and even if you don't need it, you see how those friends, what they say. It's not about, even if you don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
I get paid Friday, maybe I can give it to you Friday if you still need it.
Right.
Just see the conversation and how they move when it comes to you.
Yeah.
Because you know how I'm going to move when it comes to you and what you need done. I'm
right.
saying I'm going to figure it out, or give me a minute. I may not have it right now, but if you need it next week, I probably still might have it.
Yeah.
And that made sense. It's like, how many people will actually come through for you?
Right.
And that's the same with dating. If I lose it all, and I call you today and say, damn, well, I paid my rent, but my light bill still due. Can I borrow that money, or do you got me?
Right. And if we in a relationship, I don't believe in borrowing.
Yeah, you having it wholeheartedly.
Yeah. I'm not looking for you to pay this shit back to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even if one of my friends say, I need $100, I'm not looking for that money back, because I figure like this: if I need that money right back, I ain't got it to give to you anyway.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But if I give it to you and you give it back to me, that's fine. If you don't give it back to me, that's fine, because I gave it to you not needing it back anyway. Because don't get mad when I tell you no.
Exactly.
If I tell you no, you get mad because I told you no, man, we not friends. Because life happens to all of us.
Absolutely. But I think I struggle with that word no, and I struggle putting myself first. And in this season of my life, I'm realizing right now it's okay to be selfish with myself.
No, it's always good to be selfish for yourself.
Yeah, because I realized when I put other people first, I was always the one that go through it last. Now I'm the one that has to heal. Now I'm the one that has to repair me over again. But if I selfishly put me first, there is no healing, because I'm going in and knowing that these are my boundaries. If my boundaries are crossed, I'm out of there. You know what I'm saying? So now, as I get out of this relationship and I'm healing, I'm recognizing some things about myself that, hey, I didn't have to deal with that. I didn't have to put up with that. I can be alone and wake up just as peaceful, knowing that I don't have to struggle telling somebody my feelings that probably don't even care.
Yeah.
I can do that. I can go to sleep now and say, I still might think about it, but it's not as hard.
Right.
Like, dang, I'm gonna think about it because I'm human, but it's like, well, dang, now that the time that went past, it's like, okay, it's the thought here and there gonna click in, an anger here and there gonna click in, but that's a part of healing, because I'm going through the process, I'm going through the journey, and I'm actually doing it the right way.
Right.
No matter if that person broke up with me or I broke up with them, we all have some things that we can change.
Oh yeah.
And once you analyze and actually step away from that, I realize my change is I need to stop doing for people so soon. I need to learn how to give people space and aspect of knowing that people are allowed to have a bad day and that bad day not be about me.
Right. You know, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with change. I tell people all the time, you know, a lot of times you find people saying, you know, he or she gonna change. I'm gonna get them change. You don't need to sway somebody to change for you, because if you're worth it, they're gonna change for you regardless of the matter.
Absolutely.
You may not even want them to so-called change, but that's how important you are to that individual. That individual is gonna make changes for you to fit into their life and for them to fit into your life.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's nothing wrong with change. There's nothing wrong with evolving as an individual or evolving to be in this relationship. Because like you said earlier, you're gonna be who you are. I'm gonna be who I am. We're two totally different people, but we gotta find a way to be able to coexist with one another, and that includes change. Now, do you change who you are to the core? No, you don't change. You don't change your core, but you may change some things. Like, for example, you don't lock the door when you leave the house for some reason. I like the door locked behind me all the time. Okay, all right. Well, shit, we're gonna start locking this damn door. All right. Another example may be like, okay, I live by myself and I put my gun on the counter and I go take my shot, take care of my business. And we come to a relationship. You scared of guns. Now, okay, I would start locking my gun up and putting my gun up because you're worth that change for me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna kill me. It's not gonna do anything to me that's just gonna be like, I can't believe this person want me to do it. That's what I'm gonna do for you, and vice versa.
But that goes back to, like you said, is that person really mature enough to endure these changes without making it an issue?
Right.
And so a lot of times, just in the generation we have, people are stuck in their ways. That's just who I am.
Yeah.
And you get that a lot. That may be who you are, but has it been working for you?
It could have been working for you, but at the same time, like you said, you know, with God gonna bring somebody and you're gonna be willing to change it for that person. It has been working for you, but will it continue to work for you if this is who you want to be with? No, it's not gonna work for you. You're gonna continue bumping heads, and eventually one of y'all are gonna leave each other, you know, before the other, or at the same time.
But the things that I say, and people say this a lot, of my ex say, your all your relationships hadn't worked out, so maybe you need to analyze yourself. And when I think back about being this person of who I am, out of all the people that I talk to, can nobody never say, well, you did me wrong, or you did XYZ, or you cheated this way, or you did that. So it's like, do I really need to change, or do I need to change the people that I'm connected to?
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna do some self reflecting. Maybe I could have did something different, or maybe I could have talked to you in a different way, or maybe I could have approached the situation differently. But that's when that apology come up, when I wake up and realize, hey, maybe I didn't have to talk to you that way, or maybe my approach, I may not seem like it's a problem, but maybe it was to you. So now I can wake up and say, you know what, I'm sorry about last night. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mean it that way.
Right.
And so that's when it comes to growth of actually realizing who you are. So when a person says, oh, none of your relationships have worked out, well, it seems like I've been dating the same type of people. Nobody had a table to bring.
Right.
So is it really me? Or do I need to be connected with somebody that brings just as much as me and feel and caring just as much as me?
And then then sometimes you got to ask yourself, maybe I need to stop going to these areas that I keep choosing these people in. You know, because if I go to the bar all the time and I keep bringing somebody home from the bar and I keep getting the same person, I keep getting the same actions but different people, maybe I need to go to a restaurant. Maybe I need to go to a church. Maybe I need to go somewhere else other than the bar because I keep attracting the same people. Or maybe I need to change a part of me that attracts these people.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of, like you said before, it's a lot of self-reflection that we all have to do with one another. You know, it's like that old song from Michael Jackson. You know, Man in the Mirror. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the man in the mirror. If I want that change to be changed, I need to look at myself to make that change.
That's a good one.
You know what I'm saying? And that don't mean that something's wrong with you.
Absolutely.
You just need to just take a different approach to something else. You know, instead of making that left, man, make that right.
Absolutely.
Instead of making that left or that right, keep straight.
I mean, it really makes sense. And sometimes we get to the point where my mama tell me all the time, you be too hard on yourself. It's life.
Yeah.
Relationships are going to end. New things are going to begin. Friendships are going to end. Family are not going to always be family. These things are a part of life.
Right.
But it's a lesson to learn out of all of it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So once it's over, the reality of it is, what's the lesson did you learn out of it? Because if I go with something being a good person and throughout the whole thing I'm still this good person, but it's something that about me that you couldn't take, that doesn't stop me from being that good person. That's just your boundaries. That's just who you are.
Right.
I can only take so much. That doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. So I've always said is, no matter how somebody mistreat me, or no matter the circumstances or how hard life gets, I'm never going to stop being that good person. Because now you done cheated, you done did all this, and now I'm changing who I am and say, I'm going to be a dog. So now I'm going to catch different people than what I want.
Right. No, you right about that. You are right about that. When people contribute to you changing to where they are for you to fit into their life. You know, and I think we've all been, you know, a victim of that somewhere at some point in life. That, you know what, I want to be with this person so bad, I'm willing to do this. That's how you get a lot of people that end up hooked on drugs. That's how you end up with a lot of people that get hooked on fornicating so much. He cheated on me, I'm gonna cheat on him. She cheated on me, so I'm gonna cheat on her. And before you know it, now it becomes an everyday part of your life. Everybody you deal with, you cheat on because of what happened before it. You know, you get hooked on drugs because I wanted to be with them, so I thought maybe if I start using drugs, they'll love me more. And before you know it, now you hooked on drugs, they hooked on drugs, and now y'all ain't got nothing.
Well, a lot of things about me is I realized that I stopped doing the things that I was doing before I met that person. And it's not that they made me change it. It's just like, okay, well, if I'm working a 12-hour shift, no, I don't got much time. Maybe I'm coming to your house and chill out versus going to my own house because it's closer.
Yeah.
But going to my own house give me more peace.
Right.
And being over here, it's a lot of people. I'm not as peaceful.
Right. Right.
So now I'm changing to adapt to your situation because I want to spend time with you, but that's not really where I want to be. And so when you come to it, it's like, is that person willing to change their schedule to benefit yours? And my thing is, it's like, okay, if I'm working midnights and we're dating and you have kids or whatever the case may be, if I'm getting off a long hour shift and you've been asleep the whole night, why you take the kids to school, why I get me some sleep?
Right.
You know, so you have to be dealing with people that care enough about you to want to change some things to benefit you. And I can honestly say, yeah, you get some people that are more caring than others, and then you get some people that aren't. But it's just like, okay, once you see that these people are no longer doing these things, and you got to analyze, like you say, you got to go back and say, are you really worth it anymore?
Right.
At what point do it come to a point where I know you ain't going to do the same for me? And where's my breaking point? At what point do you reach a breaking point to say, hey, I care about me enough to move on to the point where I know this ain't what you're going to do for me? And I was listening to somebody to say, if I'm a caring person and I see a shoe that you like, and I want to buy the shoe for you, but it's going to stop me from buying the shoe because I know you're not going to do the same for me. So I'm out shopping. I say, oh, well, he like this shirt. I know he liked this shirt. He tell me about these shirts all the time. And I really want to get it for him. But I know if he was out shopping, he wouldn't feel the same about me. You know what I'm saying? So you'd be like,
But what would that person do while they out that you normally wouldn't do?
And so if I keep bringing you back stuff, because I know you like it, but you go out and shopping, and you don't bring me back nothing. So at some point it's like, okay, I'm steady caring about what you like, but at one point do you start caring about what I like?
Because as a guy, as with me myself, I'm not a big shopper, but let's just say you say, dang, I really would like these sandals. How much are they? All right. Well, it's in your Zelle. I Zelled you the money. Go ahead and go get them. Is that good enough?
It's still the same, but you feel more. I wouldn't even say. No, the word is you feel more special, because if I'm telling you something I like, I don't expect it to be done right then and there. But maybe I want to come home and see that. Oh, he remembered them sandals.
I'm horrible at shopping though. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, I'm your man. I don't do shopping. This is for real for me. I don't do shopping. I ain't really did shopping since COVID hit and they forced you to go online and shop. That's when I first started shopping online. Because COVID hit and I ain't had nothing else to do but buy shit online. But after COVID was over with, and I go to the store, I don't shop online like that no more. But at the same time, I still listen. And you say, I like these shoes. I like this outfit. I like this something. And I'm like, all right, well, how much is it? You tell me how much it is. I'll sell it to you. All right, go ahead and go get it.
But that goes back to changing for who you want to be with. If I'm a person that likes to see you buy it and bring it to me, and if you care enough, I say, oh, well.
But what if I mail it to you?
No, that ain't the same. I want to see it physically. I'm coming home to some roses. Like, he actually remembered and he changed, even though this is not his norm. This is not something that he's used to doing. He's doing it just for me because that's what I like. And he's at a point in his life that he can't see me without being with him. So he's going to change.
But I have changed. I gave you the money. I don't give money away. I gave you the money.
That ain't changed because you're giving it to me to do it myself, but I want to know.
I don't like giving away money.
Hey.
But I gave you the money. But
I want to see that, hey, he actually can be uncomfortable doing something that he never done.
Okay.
So it's a uncomfortable situation. It's just like you had a job for 20 years. And you come to realize that this is not working for me, but I've only stayed because I'm comfortable. I know John know me and I could be running late, but he ain't going to write me up.
Mm-hmm.
But I know if I start a new job, I got that 90-day rule where I got to be on time every day. And if I ain't on time, that's my ass.
Right.
So you get comfortable. But at one point in life, are you able to move forward if you don't put yourself in an uncomfortable position? That's just like me. I've been dating girls for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm at a point where I want to take the back seat. And it's not completely taking the back seat. I want to do things differently. Am I really able to meet a woman that's just like me, that's able to allow me to take that back seat? Or am I running into men after men after men? Now that I've been out of a relationship for almost a month now, I've ran into more men that's, you glowing different, you're looking different. Can I get your number? That's foreign to me. And it's not foreign to me in a situation where it never happened before. It's foreign to me because I'm not used to it.
So when you was while you was dating women, you've been the provider.
Sole provider.
So now that you're dating men, is it how is the difference, or is it different to you now that you have been able to take that back seat per se? And what I mean by they say take that back seat per se, you're the one sitting in the passenger seat while he pumps the gas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're the one who goes to the passenger seat and he opens the door for you and closes. You're the one that goes to the restaurant, the bill comes and the waitress slides the bill over to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, does it make you feel some type of way, any different, or, you know, do you feel uncomfortable with that feeling now?
I feel uncomfortable, but I feel relaxed.
Uh-huh.
To the point where I can get these things. And not to say that I can't get it with a woman, I just haven't met that person to do it. And not to say that nobody never treated me out or planned some nice things. It's more so I've been used to being that provider, so when the bill do come, that's on me. You know, and being in a woman-woman relationship since I've been this sole provider, I kind of get mad when you want to pay because I'm not used to that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh damn, now that I'm taking that olive branch to switch it up, and I'm making myself uncomfortable because maybe this might be a happy ending for me. You know, so now I'm open to being uncomfortable. And so that comes with growth too. Right. At one point, I wasn't okay with being uncomfortable. I said, I'm going to work this job until I can't work this job no more, until I get to the point where I'm open for change. And you never know where that change can get you. This might be, like you said, you dodged this bullet for 32 years of having a baby. Maybe I want kids so bad. Maybe being with a girl may not give me that kid. And if it do, that's maybe something I have to have on my own. Maybe now this might be my husband. Mm-hmm. To the point where I don't want to miss my moment. I don't want to miss my opportunity. So
let me ask you. So let me ask you this. You know, sex with a woman versus a man is two totally different things.
Absolutely.
Did you feel like a woman having sex with a woman? Or did you feel more like a woman having sex with a man? Or it didn't have the feeling was no different. It was still just sex because, you know, when you're having sex with a woman, that means you got to involve toys. That means you got to do what they call the scissor. Yeah. You got to do the scissor thing. But then when you with a man, you can have a toy and you can not have a toy at the same time.
Well, with a woman, you're more in control. You know, you kind of know what a woman wants, and kind of a woman knows what you want. Mm-hmm. When you with a man, sometimes you have to teach them your body. Sometimes you have to do certain moves that maybe your body can't do, but as a whole, y'all learn how to do it together.
Right.
So now that I'm going through it, I wouldn't say it is different, and it's going to be an adjustment. And the question I have to ask myself is, am I willing to go through this change since it's been so long? Mm-hmm. And if I want something different, I got to produce something different. So now that I'm going through it and I'm meeting men, not to say now I'm going to jump into the bed with everybody, it's just like now I have to cope him to say, hey, I've been this way for so long. Are you willing to be patient with me while I transition?
Mm-hmm.
And that's knowing your person.
Because one of the transitions may be now you have to use a condom. Because with a woman, you don't necessarily have to use a, go buy a Magnum or go buy a Trojan and then put the thing on so you don't get pregnant.
Yeah, so now I have to protect myself. Yeah. So now the change in the emotions is I didn't have to think about that.
Right.
I didn't have to think about is I'm gonna be somebody baby mama or just a hit and quit. So now you think about women hit and quit. Oh, that's fun. People do that all the time. Get drunk, the girls have sex with each other and going about your day. That you don't worry about it no longer. But now I'm in a position to where now I have to learn somebody in a way that I never needed to learn them.
What's the difference between a woman hit and quit and a man's hit and quit?
Well, it's just like women get drunk all the time and say that they've always wanted to date a woman, so they get drunk as an excuse to do it. Now we no longer have to make it an issue. Like it's not an issue, and within this society today, being gay is normalized.
Right.
So you don't have to hide it, and if you're doing it, is for what reason? Because you're allowed to be whoever it is that you want to be. What makes you happy? Whether that's man or woman or woman, the only person that has to live that life is you.
Right.
So, like I said, now it's a big adjustment because it's like, oh, I got this man telling me I'm pretty, he like what I'm wearing, he like what I got on. And me, I'm a gym shoe girl. I like to wear gym shoes. I'm not a heel person. So now I have to date somebody that's comfortable with the look that I like to look like.
With the gym shoes?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the guy that I encountered, that's something they call his eye. Oh, I like a girl with braids. I like a girl that wears gym shoes. I like a girl that don't be outside to go to work. That may keep me from doing a lot of things.
Right.
You may sit me down. Like, hey, man, it's movie night. Maybe that's not something that you used to. Maybe you want to be outside.
Right.
So I've always get to the point where people always say you're a lot more ahead and mature than most people your age.
How does that make you feel when people tell you you're more mature than what they think somebody at your age should be?
It feels good to the point where I know that I'm touching lives even if it don't work out. Mm-hmm. And I say that it's because I've always been a good person and that's never going to change. So I don't need you to validate that. So if I'm going into something, I know that the way I talk to you is right. I know that the way that I talk to you or the way that I treat you is normal. Maybe that's not something that you're used to, but I can't change that for you.
Right.
So just because you're not used to it doesn't mean that I'm going to change the way that I am. If I'm a caring person, I'm going to remain a caring person, whether that's something you used to or not. Because eventually you're going to say, well, damn, no matter what I do or how I talk, this person is still respectful. Mm-hmm. This person still treats me like I'm human.
Right. So
no matter how you treat me, I'm still going to do my part.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we all got our karma. So if I treat you accordingly, I'm stepping down to your level, and I really don't have that kind of time to get karma because of how you treat me. Because I still have to, whether we're together or not, and we separate, life still has to continue to go on.
Yeah, that is true. Life does have to continue to go on.
And I don't want to live my life knowing that, hey, I mishandled this person, I mistreated this person, and they didn't deserve that.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel that. I mean, I understand that. I feel the same way. When it comes to, dealing with people. Dealing with, being in a relationship, and things like that. That you have to understand that it's not always all about you. Mm-hmm. You got to think about that other person at some time, at some moment. It ain't gotta be all the time, but you still gotta think about that person's feelings. Mm-hmm. You still gotta ask yourself, are you comfortable with what just happened per se? Are you comfortable with the relationship? Are you comfortable with how you treat this person? Are you comfortable on how this person treats you? Are you comfortable with doing things that they like to do that you may not necessarily care for? Mm-hmm. And vice versa, because being in a relationship, you have to compromise. Absolutely. Like for example, I'm not a real big vacation person. Mm. I mean, I like to be off work for a week or so. I like to take road trips here and there, but I'm not a real big vacation person to be like, oh yeah, I got the agenda all set. Mm. We gonna fly out here. We gonna go there for 2-3 days. Then we gonna fly there. Then we gonna come over here. I want to be one spot, and then that's it. And then we come back home. But the relationship that I'm in, she likes to travel. I don't mind traveling. I don't mind. Just don't what you want to do. I don't know. All I know is I want to go do something, and how much is it, and then we gonna go from there.
But it spices it up and it makes it more entertaining when you actually have that person to take you out of your uncomfortableness.
I support that.
So that may not be something that what you want to do, but if I got a full agenda planned out, and I know that you done talked about some stuff that you may have wanted to do in your childhood, and I bring that to light, that's gonna sparkle you.
Yeah,
so now moving forward, guess what you're gonna do if that relationship don't work out? You're gonna go look for, hey, I know that I'm capable of getting X, Y, and Z. I'm not gonna settle. Cause hey, this person didn't want to all out, and I ain't even have to tell her nothing. Just by the conversation. So it's like, that's just like, I'm in this relationship, and I'm not even trying to bash because it's gonna get out at some point. This person can't even remember my middle name. But then you get Susie over here that you didn't let go because of maybe what she was going through, and maybe that's something that you couldn't wait for. They knew everything about you, that studied you, and you missed that moment.
Right.
Now you ask yourself, could that been my person? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, you don't care to learn anything about me. But Susie over here, that just probably needed a little bit more time to get their life together, I shied them away.
But at the same time, you also may have dodged a bullet. You just never know. You can't have no regrets.
You don't have no regrets, but when you're in a relationship and somebody's learning you, and you like, well, damn, you don't remember that? I told you that 20 times, and you still don't know, and you don't know how to. But here I am. I'm learning every aspect about you. So you be like, well, damn. When did I tell her I wanted them shoes? Or when did I tell her I like that kind of food and always wanted to try this restaurant? It surprises you about the things that I know about you.
Right.
And it feels good that somebody actually takes that time to, like, hey.
So let me ask you this question. It's a couple questions before we end everything. What is your strongest suit?
My strongest suit, as in what? Like,
just what is your strongest suit as a person, as your own individual, that you can hang your hat on and be like, this is the strongest part of me, regardless if it's a relationship or not. This is the strongest part of me. This is what I hang my hat on myself. Like for example, myself. I'm gonna put on. I could put up there like loyalty. When I'm loyal to you, I'm loyal to you, regardless if we're in a relationship or it's a friendship. Just know that I'm loyal.
I think that's my strongest, loyal and very caring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to see people without, and we talked about this before. That goes back to me being adopted. I don't know my parents, and I don't know anybody related to me in that aspect. Yeah, I have a family, but that's not like my blood family. So I've always come to the point where when I found out that I was adopted, I started acting out. I started saying, "You're not my mama. You're not this." Until I realized when I went off to college, I need this person.
Yeah.
So I learned how to treat people in that moment. The closest people to you, you need them. So it's like, I need her. This is the person that helped me grow into being the person I was today. She may not have all the money, but she made sure I was safe. She made sure I never catch the bus. She made sure that all the things I needed, I had. And she made it went without, and I didn't even know.
So let me ask you this question. The opposite of that question. What is your where do you think that you need the most improvement at? Where are you maybe weakest at?
I'm weak in the areas of learning how everybody's always giving people space.
Mm-hmm.
And like I go back before, learning how to not let people mood affect me, and it may not be about me. So it's like I've learned that I'm bad at putting myself in someone's situation because they're angry.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna find a way to make it about me, even if it ain't about me, because it's like, why are you so angry? I didn't do anything to you.
Right.
That's how I look at it. But it's like, dang, this person may have had a bad day and they're allowed to have a bad day, but I'm big on communication. So if you're having a bad day, verbalize that you're having a bad day so I don't create an argument outside of that. Because maybe I could think, like you said, maybe I could think, well, maybe he don't like me today, or maybe she don't like me today, and she's just disgusted by my presence. Maybe that may not be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're just really having a tough day to where, hey, all these bills was due and I missed a couple of days at work. Now I'm short on my check. Maybe maybe you may be thinking about that, and I don't know that you're thinking about that and angry about this situation because you haven't communicated your feelings with me.
Right.
So my weakest points is not allowing people to be who they need to be in that moment and not make it personal.
And if you could change that, what would you do to change that?
I think that's something that I have to dig within myself because I've always been told, and just in general, it's like I always feel that if I give people that space, that they gonna leave. But the situation might be good. I'm just gonna make it bad, and it may not even be that way. So I have to figure out, how do I change and allow people, because I have my moments. So
I think we all do.
If I have my moments and I want that same respect of giving space, and maybe that space may cause people to come correct. But if I don't give them that space, how would I ever know that they're going to talk to me like I'm human?
Right.
And so now, if I don't give you that space, now I'm irritating you to the point where, hey, let's talk about it right now. And you keep telling me, hey, I need a moment. But if I'm not giving you that moment to live in that moment to actually realize where you went wrong, you may never apologize.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning just in my last situation as I self-reflect. Maybe if I gave that person time to come to realization that maybe how they talked to me wasn't right, but if I don't give you that time, how would I ever know? And now I'm forcing you to apologize. Now you're going to give me a bullshit apologize because I want you to apologize, not because you said it, analyze it for yourself.
Right.
And so moving forward, it's like, damn, let me see how it goes if this person says, hey, we got into an argument, give me that space to come back to you. And it may be 2 hours, it may be 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like, okay, I can sit back and say, give that person a moment. They're allowed to have that moment.
Right.
And if I don't give them that moment, the situation may not be how I want it to be.
And I came up to that not gonna say a long time ago, but when I went to school, and I used to have to write papers all the time. Mm-hmm. That's all I did was write papers. Some days I would have writer's block. Some days I would just be going, so you know what? I got to step back, take a break, then come back to this later. Mm-hmm. And I had to integrate that into my everyday life. Mm-hmm. If just say, for example, you and I, we in a relationship, we get into whatever little argument or whatever it is like that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take some time, and we're gonna come back to this. Mm-hmm. I've learned how to do that for the most part. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But but giving the person that time, sometimes it's you that need that time. Mm-hmm. Give yourself that time to say, I'm gonna come back to this. We're not gonna forget this, but right now, the way that I'm feeling and the way that you may be feeling, what we got to say is gonna come out wrong right now. Mm-hmm. So let's give each other some time to come back to this and get ourselves together and let it sound cliche, but cooler heads prevail. Mm-hmm. Just give us some time, and I'll come back to this. We're not gonna let it end, but you're gonna have a cooler head. I'm gonna have a cooler head. The conversation is gonna be totally different when we come back to this compared to what it is right now.
But given the fact of, me being adopted and probably losing the closest person to me at a young age, when it comes down to these situations, is I'm not the type of person that likes conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I come across these issues, the first thing that comes to my mind is, if I give you too much space, you're gonna leave. Like, you have that clear mind and say, hey, this ain't working for me, so I don't need to talk it out. Or I've been in relationships and it's a cycle to where I don't want to talk it out, I just leave instead of fixing it. And so when I come to that situation, and I'm also learning it's okay to let people go. If that's what you choose to do,
Mm-hmm.
then it's okay to let them go. But it's just like, but I also feel like, if we're two grown adults, if we come to a situation to where we're having a disagreement, we can still have a healthy debate and still figure it out at that moment.
Right.
Which I agree that a lot of times you need that space, but the way that I think, and I say that I'm always ahead of people, it's like, if I'm grown enough to have this argument with you, I'm grown enough to apologize when I've done something to you in that moment, that I want you to wait and rethink that you're this type of individual.
Mm-hmm.
If I said something to you wrong and I know that it hurts your feelings, and if we're in front of people that you really care about, I want to apologize. I was wrong for that. Like, so
Yeah.
I'm grown enough to realize, like, hey, it doesn't take me a moment to realize that I said messed up things to you. And it may take people other time or need validation from somebody else, but I don't need validation from somebody else to recognize when I'm in a wrong.
But that's like, that goes back to what we said. Everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody may not be able to process that the way that you can process that.
Mm-hmm.
And that may be something that may need to be worked on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's just give this person in space. But then I also understand why you feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of what you said earlier, that you are adopted. Mm-hmm. That the person that in a perfect life that's supposed to be with you through thick and thin went on about their way. Mm-hmm. And left you to fend for yourself at whatever age. Mm-hmm. And that plays a part in you that sometimes you may not even know it plays a part. Mm-hmm. Because I think that we all, like I said earlier, I believe that we all have traumas, that is just, it's a trauma. Mm-hmm. But you got to recognize the trauma when you have that trauma. Mm-hmm. When you recognize, okay, all right, this is a trauma for me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, even if I know how to work through it, it's always going to be a trauma. Mm-hmm. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Don't, because the most important person in my life left me. Mm-hmm. And right now, you're an important person in my life. And this is what I don't want to do. But at the same time, okay, all right.
But, and in a sense, because all my relationships say this, and it's every single relationship, I recognize that at some point it's a trauma, but I never dated somebody to say, let me help you through it.
Right.
And that's important.
It is.
Because if I'm sharing something that's important to you in my life, that means I care enough to even share this with you, because I can hold it in and actually work through it on my own, and it keep being a repeating cycle. But at this moment, I realize it's a trauma, but maybe I need help with it.
Yeah.
So now it's not even about connecting with somebody that realizes the trauma for me and make it worse. It's about connecting somebody that's willing to help me through it and grow with me, and to say, hey, I realize that's a trauma for you, and I realize that you don't like argument, but I'm here to stay. I just need a moment.
Right.
Just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But if you lash out before asking me to give you that moment, then it puts me in a space to where I feel like you're going to leave. Now, if we're in a healthy debate, or before we get to that argument, you say, give me a moment before I cut up, then that's different. Mm-hmm. I can walk away. But if we're already in that debate, and you're already calling me bees or calling me out my name, or not trying to hear me out, then that puts me in an angry spot, to where it's like, if I give you too much space, you're going to disappear.
Right. I just think that you just got to realize that none of it's your fault. It wasn't your fault then, and it's not your fault now. If somebody blows up on you, It's not your fault they blew up. It was they made a decision to blow up. And if they made a decision to blow up and they don't apologize for blowing up, that's still their decision.
Mhm.
You don't have any control over who goes and who comes.
Absolutely.
You only have control over yourself.
Mhm.
You know, and that may be something that you may need to work on, because people gonna come, people gonna go.
Mhm.
But I understand why you feel that way at the same time too. You know, because it's not it's not a good feeling.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I've never been in that situation, so I can't say I can imagine how it feels. I can't say I know how it feels,
Mhm.
but I can say I understand why you feel this way.
Mhm.
You know, and possibly try you just for you to understand that none of it has ever been your fault.
Mhm.
You know, it's never been whoever left your life, it's their fault. You know what I'm saying? They missing out.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? They missing out on greatness. They're missing out on a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a lot of great people out here that have had people not be in their life. You got, you know, you got a LeBron James,
Mhm.
one of the greatest basketball players to ever live, to ever walk this earth, but don't know his father.
Mhm.
His father's missing out.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people out here that is missing that is missing out on you know some greatness that they created per se. But that greatness, what they ended up doing, only propelled that greatness to be even greater.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You the one missing out. I'm not missing out on nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So just be aware that none of this is your fault.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody want, if your ex girlfriend, ex boyfriend, whoever it may be, want to live, shit, it's your loss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna continue living. I'm gonna continue being great at what it is I do, and I'm not gonna skip a beat. Will I be hurt? Yeah, I'll be hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Will I get over it? I hope to God I can get over it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still gonna be your loss.
I guess the question is, how do, with my situation, you may not understand it, you may not know why it happened, but it's a struggle to learn at what point is my breaking point to let people go. So see, if I have this point where I'm keeping you close to me, even though I know that you may not be best for me, you don't treat me the way I want to be treated, is that a struggle with my self-worth? Or is that a struggle with my value? Or is that a struggle with the trauma?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you work through it and say, hey, once this happened, I don't want it to happen again, so I'm going to let you go. And I struggle with letting people go and holding on longer than what I need to. And so now when it comes to me not giving you your space, you end up breaking up with me because that's not something that you're able to deal with. That's not something that you're able to work with.
Right.
So it's like I should have been left, but now you got the control because I've done something that you dislike or something that you can't deal with or work through. So it's like, at what point within myself do I learn and say, hey, enough is enough?
You know, I would say every situation is different, and if you really wanted to, if you really want to, you know, that's where that age old taboo thing comes up of getting a therapist.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of black people, we don't like therapy. We don't like telling our personal business to somebody we don't know. But sometimes, a lot of times, most times, I think that it's okay to talk to somebody who is impartial. You know what I'm saying? This person is, even though this person may be a complete stranger, but this person is impartial. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a horse in this race. They don't have anything to gain from you. They don't have anything to lose from you. You know what I'm saying? But they're just impartial. So that may be something to look into. You know, I've been in therapy before. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, liked it.
No, I was in therapy for a long time, and it helped me sense and make me stronger right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
So the situation that just happened to me she probably wouldn't even been able to get through the door.
Right.
Because I was so strong into, this is how I believe, this is how I want to be treated. Mm-hmm. And if you're not willing to change to treat me the way I want to be treated, then there's not a space at my table.
Right.
And so when you lack that, because like you said, we see the beauty, we see the sex, and we see all these lust things that are taking away the fact that I actually still deserve these things, but I'm gonna let this stuff over trump what I actually deserve. Now I'm putting that on the back burner.
Right.
Now when it really comes to hand, it's like, oh, I'm too far deep into this. Now I actually like you just because of who you are, not because of how you treat me.
Right.
So it's like I said, it may be time to get back into that therapy situation to where, hey, this person don't know you from a can of paint, and they're listening and observing from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, well, let me mold you back into this person, because my brother always tell me, you're worth it. You just don't believe that you're worth it. And when you're arguing with a person that don't really think like you're not gonna win and you're not gonna lose, because even if you're right, you still gonna be wrong, because that person ain't gonna see it how you see it.
Right. Oh yeah.
And it made a lot of sense, because it's like, well, damn if you do, damn if you don't. And it's like, I may be right in what I'm saying, but if a person don't think like me and see it like me, I'm wrong.
Yeah, 'cause, we all live on this earth together. You can get 2 billion people to sit right here next to you,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna look at everything completely different.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna see some people that gonna look at the sky and say, "Oh, that's why it's sky blue." Nah, that's navy blue.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna see somebody, "Oh, that's the sun is yellow." Nah, it's orange. It's oranges. A little orange in there somewhere. No matter what, everybody's gonna look at. Everybody's gonna see the world differently. No matter, regardless of how much we're on this same world together, we're all gonna see life differently.
Mm-hmm.
And we just gotta be able to accept that. That's what we're all different.
And sometimes you gotta just, like you say, you gotta accept, hey, maybe that's just who you are. Maybe you don't want to see any different from what you used to.
Right.
But me personally, I've grown, like you said, I've grown to understand that we're two different humans, but I still know right from wrong. I still know that in the real world, whether you've been called bitches 1,000 times, I still know that that's not the right way.
Mm-hmm.
That I still need to treat you such. I still know that you want to be taken out on dates, you want to be court, or if you having a bad day, maybe me sending you flowers or take you out for lunch may be different for you, but you appreciate it.
But you can't be mad at the person if they mad at you because you don't call me a bitch. Mm-hmm. You don't even love me. When the last time you called me a bitch? Mm-hmm. You don't even love my last girlfriend called me a bitch every day. That's how I knew she loved me or he loved me. You don't even call me no bitch. Mm-hmm. You don't even love me like that. You get mad at me and you say, let's talk it out. My last person always said, bitch, shut up. And that's what I did. Mm-hmm. Every person in every relationship is going to be different. Mm-hmm. It just comes up to, is it worth it? Mm-hmm. Is it worth you changing to call this person a bitch so they know they love you? Mm-hmm. Or is it better for you to walk away because you can't bring yourself down to that level to call somebody a bitch because that's not who you are? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I mean, it just all comes down to that. And the last question I want to ask: if you could mold the perfect partner, what would that partner consist of? If you could mold the perfect partner,
I think if I can mold the perfect partner, it would be to be loyal, to be motivated, to be uncomfortable, to know that, hey, I've been doing this for so long, but if I change it, I may be even better at it. Mm-hmm. Like I tell people all the time, you have to start from somewhere. Everybody started from somewhere. So you can't expect to grow $1 million business without being a worker first. Mm-hmm. At some point, that person worked and maybe was putting their checks away to get that business. Right. So you can't just jump steps and not realize when you miss those steps, you end up in places that you don't want to be. Mm-hmm. So if you're going through the process of every step to get where you need to be, the outcome becomes greater. It's like I actually followed the rules, So I want to mold somebody And like you said, we're gonna be two different people, but I want somebody that respects me enough, that loves me enough to say, hey, I want to change because you mean just that much to me. I may did this then, but I know I can't do with that with you now, because you ain't buying that. Because the moment I say bitch, you're out the door.
Right.
But I like the qualities that you come with. I like who you are. I like how you motivate me. I like how you shape me into being a better person. So I'm going to catch myself every time. And even if you slip up, you're quickly to apologize because you know that's something that I don't like. And you know, if you say it, I'm going to shut down.
Right.
Or the mood is going to shift because I realize at that moment you didn't respect me. And so I want to deal with a person that we all make mistakes, and that's my problem. I allow people to make too many mistakes. We all make mistakes.
I mean, it's a mistake was a habit. At some point, it turns into a habit. It can't be the same mistake over and over.
It turns into a habit, but I realize that I give people too many chances. If you used to calling me a bitch and you keep doing it after I told you I don't like it, it becomes into a habit. Now it's not a mistake because you know exactly what you're doing.
Right.
So now it comes to the point where, like, okay, that's when it comes down. It's a consequence behind that. It got to be a consequence because now, you know, if I leave, I'm standing on business.
Right.
I told you I didn't like it, and you continue to keep doing it. I go back to the people that allow you to do that. And it comes down to men and women. That's why I say when it comes back to having a table, you know that you come with a house, you come with this, you know you're capable of getting up to work, and you know if you fail, you know you can get another job to make more money. I want somebody just like that. Like, you ain't gotta have it all together, but you have to have something to start with.
Right.
I'm not asking you to come fully built, because at some point we need to build the bridge together. If you come fully built, how can we say we helped each other grow if you got it all?
Right. I agree with you.
So if I'm not a good financial provider, but you got that $800 credit score, I'm trying to get there. Now you can help me and mold me, but I first got to be willing to change.
Right.
I first got to be willing to take those steps. I first got to sacrifice. Maybe I like shoes, so maybe I got to sacrifice buying shoes every week to save that $200, and that helps towards paying off some debt. That may get me up. But like you said, it come down to that. Oh, you'll go with the man with the wider money, but Lil John over here only got a little bit. But that little bit is building a future for us. But that big money ain't gonna get us nowhere because you can't get a credit card. You ain't got no credit card. You ain't got no check stub. So if I say let's go buy a house, it's all on me. So if you at least come with half of the deal, we can build the rest of the table together. But if you come in, no job, no car, you're living with Uncle Joe and Ray Ray, and I got all that, at some point it's gonna bring me down because I'm trying to mold you into being where I'm at. Maybe that's not where you want to be. Maybe that's not what you're ready for.
Yeah, I support that. That.
That's not what you're ready for. So now I'm changing you into somebody that you're not ready to be. And now it's like carrying a weight that's not mine. I'm carrying your weight because I say, come on. I'm pulling you. And you like, no, I ain't ready yet. But come on. I want you to be up here because we need to buy this house. We need to get this land. We need to be, but if that ain't what you ready for, then maybe it's time for me to take the back seat and say, maybe we are not compatible. And that was the hardest thing for me to understand because my ex did text me and say, we are not compatible in the long run. And I realized you may never trust me again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it hurt because it's like, hey, I want to be with you. And then the person goes, I don't feel like I'm good enough for you. And I said, I had to take a step back. It hurted in the moment. It's like, what do you mean? You are good enough. But then when time go by and you realize that people go back to what they used to, maybe you wasn't good enough for me. So did I actually dodge a bullet? It's something to think about. Right. This person's telling me that we're not compatible because I'm too far advanced. This person is not ready for what I'm ready for. And this person always said, you're more mature than I am. And when somebody's telling you that, it's time to take a step back because now you're recognizing that